This is the last of these bullshit videos, I promise. After this, I will be back doing regular Amazing Atheist videos in front of my proper set. So you can look forward to that imminently. But for now, I just want to take a moment to talk about cultural appropriation. Because this is a big thing in the social justice circles, and I'm sure that most of you are familiar with the concept. But for those of you who don't know, here is a definition from author Susan Scafidi. Cultural appropriation is taking intellectual property, traditional knowledge, cultural expressions, or artifacts from someone else's culture without permission. How could you possibly get permission from an entire culture? This can include unauthorized use of another's culture's dance, dress, music, language, folklore, cuisine, traditional medicine, religious symbols, etc. It's most likely to be harmful when the source community is a minority group that has been oppressed or exploited in other ways, or when the object of appropriation is particularly sensitive, e.g. sacred objects. Well, there's no such thing as a sacred fucking object. Sacred is just... There's no such thing as a sacred anything. So that's ridiculous. Just because someone says that something is sacred doesn't make it sacred. Let's just go through this list real quick, though. Cultures dance, okay? So if you see a black person doing a dance and then you do the same dance, that's oppression. Dress, music, right? Yeah, you know. Listening, is that just listening to black music or Spanish music or music of minority groups, or is that like when you make it yourself? Language. What the fuck are you talking about? Learning a new language is appropriation? I mean, Jesus. Folklore. So comparative mythologists like Joseph Campbell, who compared the mythologies of all sorts of different ancient peoples throughout the world and found their commonalities. What he did was a disgusting act of racism. Traditional medicine? I mean, look, are you really going to say, like, if another culture has a medicine that can help people, we shouldn't use that medicine because it would be infringing on that culture? I mean, that's insane. Cuisine, I mean, does that mean every time I go to a Chinese restaurant, I'm appropriating Chinese culture? Ridiculous. All right, so basic rundown is if I, as a white person, decide to wear a sombrero, that's cultural appropriation. Because it didn't my culture didn't come up with this fucking sombrero, so it's wrong if I wear it. If I decide to become a rapper, that's cultural appropriation. Because my culture didn't come up with that music, so... If I decide to twerk, that's cultural appropriation, because my culture didn't come up with twerking, you know? So why is this harmful? Well, according to Nadra Karim Niddle, who is apparently this is how she describes herself, actually, a race relations expert over at about.com. This is what she says. Cultural appropriation remains a concern for a variety of reasons. For one, this sort of borrowing is exploitative because it robs minority groups of the credit they deserve. Art and music forms that originated with minority groups come to be associated with members of the dominant group. As a result, the dominant group is deemed innovative and edgy. Well, I would give anything to stop being identified as edgy. While the disadvantaged groups that they borrow from continue to face negative stereotypes that imply they're lacking in intelligence and creativity. In addition, when members of a dominant group appropriate the cultures of others, they often reinforce stereotypes about minority groups. Okay, now that we've defined cultural appropriation and why it's harmful, let me just tell you why I think this entire concept is completely bullshit. And it's not even just bullshit. And it's not even just stupid bullshit. It is actually stupid, scary bullshit. And it all starts with a very simple question that all of you, you ladies and fellas at home can attempt to answer for yourselves if you wish. Do cultures own innovations and ideas created within them? because that's like a racist position, right? I mean, I've met so many white racists who try to use the accomplishments of the white race as a way to bolster their own sense of superiority. Like, we invented so much. We invented the light bulb. We invented the telephone. We invented the airplane. We truly are the smartest race. Wrong, you racist dipshit. Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone. The Wright brothers invented the airplane. Your stupid ass didn't invent shit. And the fact that all these men shared your skin pigmentation is beyond irrelevant. And it's similarly beyond irrelevant when a black person says, no one can wear dreads but us, because we invented dreads. First of all, you didn't invent dreads. Human hair will naturally form into dreadlocks if you just don't wash it. You didn't invent not washing your fucking hair. So granted, that's not how most people get dreads nowadays. Whatever. You type in white people with dreads on Google, and the results are, dear white people with dreadlocks, things to consider. That's the first one. Second one is why it's not okay for white people to have dreadlocks. And then 7 reasons why white people should not wear any black hairstyles. And then 2 articles asking if it's okay for white people to have dreadlocks. And both of them come to the same conclusion. No, it's not. It's really horrible and really, really fucking insensitive, you guys. Look, even if a black person invented dreadlocks, I have every right to wear them myself, because guess what? I can do whatever the fuck I want with my own hair. No one can own a fucking hairstyle. Also, I just love the irony that a culture who doesn't want to let me adopt any of the things it perceives as belonging to it will still yet somehow assume that it has authority over me. I mean, how does that work? I don't have the right to use things from black culture because I'm not a part of black culture, yet black culture assumes the authority over me to tell me what hairstyles I'm allowed to have. It assumes it can prohibit me from doing as I please. Seems to me that they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. Hey, wait a minute. Was cake invented by white people? Stop eating cake, black people. You're appropriating my culture. Probably. I don't know who invented cake. Look, even if dreadlocks were invented fucking yesterday, and we knew exactly who invented them, and it was a guy named Tyrone Willis, and he's black, he couldn't fucking trademark that shit. He couldn't sue anyone who dared to use his newly invented hairstyle without his permission, because you can't own a fucking hairstyle, even if you're the person who created it. So the idea that it somehow belongs to an entire culture, none of whom invented it, is several orders of magnitude more ridiculous than that already ridiculous notion of owning a fucking hairstyle. I don't go around to black guys in suits and say, ahem, what are you doing? You're wearing a suit? My people invented that style of dress. You're not allowed to wear that. You've got to go around wearing some traditional African horse shit, you know? One of those weird knitted poncho thingamajigs you guys wear with all the bright colors on it. Also, your name is Bill. That's a white name. You got to change that. You got to change it to because that's a good solid African name. All those clicks I just did, that was the name. You know why I don't do that? You know why I don't go up to black people on the street and tell them that they can't wear suits because it's a white culture thing? You know why I don't do that? Because even though suits were invented by white people in Western culture, I haven't decided that we as a culture therefore somehow own the concept of wearing a suit and no one else can do it. And the reason I don't think that is because I'm not a fucking retard, all right? Can we just think about how horrifying of a notion it is that every culture owns what it has produced and no one from any other culture may adopt it as their own to even the smallest extent? Because if that mentality had always existed, we'd still be living in fucking caves, scared to merge with neighboring tribes because they were different, scared to share information and innovations between us, scared to trade goods, just plain scared of each other. So when has fear and separation ever been what made us strong? When has that ever made us better as a species? And think about the idea of cultural appropriation. Think about what that says about you as a person. It tacitly has you accepting that You're not an individual. You're not an individual with your own sensibilities and ideas. No, you're just a unit within a cultural matrix, unable to escape the traditions of the past, forever trapped within the accomplishments of your particular race, your particular race or culture, unable to move past any of those limitations imposed on you by your culture, by your traditions, by your ancestors, by what people in the past think you should have done, and what people who are beholden to the past think you should do. Personally, and I know most don't go as far as I do on this, but personally, I think that culture should die. I think tradition should die. I think the people in the past had their shot, and now it's our world. I think we should be dynamic, forward-thinking beings who learn from the past, but who aren't beholden to it. I think every person should be free to express themselves with whatever hairstyle they want, or however they want to dress, or whatever they want to do in terms of artistic expression, or political expression, or whatever. I think we should all have the right to engage in that. I say we stop placing so much emphasis on the collective and the stupid little sub-collectives within the collective. And let's instead embrace what makes us truly unique, which is not our heritage or our tribalism, but our individuality and our ability to come together as individuals who may not see the world the same, but we can still coexist, in fact, peacefully and happily. So, I mean, if you want to be a white girl who twerks to K-pop in a sombrero, you go for it. Fuck the idea that any culture owns any of that. If that's who you are, even just for that moment, then you own it. You own it all. If you want to be a white girl, you can own fucking twerking. You can own K-pop. You can own the fucking sombrero. That's the beauty of our fucking society, is that, no idea, unless we're talking about something ultra specific like Mickey Mouse. Someone can own the concept of Mickey Mouse, but no one can own the concept of the fucking sombrero, because it's just a fucking big goofy hat. No one can own the concept of K-pop because it's just a shitty genre of music. No one can own the concept of twerking because it's just fucking shaking your ass around. No one owns any of that. It's not owned by them. Not owned by the collective. Not owned by the culture. Not owned by tradition or by any group of any kind. It's owned by you. And you alone. It's yours. It's yours. Everything you see in this world is yours, so long as you can legally procure it for yourself. It's all yours. So do with it as you see fit, and don't let anyone tell you that you're not allowed to do something, or to experience something, or to learn something, or to wear something, or to express something, or to use a certain medium, or whatever. Don't let anyone tell you what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do based on your fucking skin color. To do so is disgusting, and the people who would ask that you change who you are, change what you like, change what you're allowed to use, those people are fucking racists. I'm sorry. And it's not reverse racism. This fucking SJW term that they go around saying that, the other side says. We complain about reverse racism. It's not reverse racism. It's just fucking plain old racism.